Hi folks, David Thompson here with longtime friend Rob Norberg. Rob,
How you doing?
you're a media star with our FAI viewers out there. You've done some other stuff on the web for us, and Ordinance and Law and the Champion of Lenders. So we're going to put you in our E&O class about 40 times in 2019.
All right, great.
So we'll just kind of have a conversation and maybe ignore the camera out there. I think it's good that you're here because I'm the ivory tower and you are in the trenches as tough as it comes, like these folks out there.
Sure.
I want you to explain to them, you started your career on the retail side with Bird Irons, and talk about in training how you train the sales staff to sell the best.
Well, and that's the thing that they train always in the retail world. You want to start with the best product you have and then kind of step the customer down to their needs or wants. But a lot of times when you sell them the best and they see the benefits of the best, they're going to pay that extra dollars and make sure they have the best for themselves.
So you're doing that in the insurance side, not selling somebody a jacket, right?
Right. We've applied it to most of our policies, and we always say, people are going to come in and they're going to say, hey, I want a certain price. And we're going to show them not only their price, but all the better options. We're going to start with the best and then kind of step them down to get to their price. So, and most of the time we're very successful is getting the better coverage for the people. And that's actually what they need. They don't just need the lowest price, they need the best coverage.
In the class that we did here today, at a break, you actually got an email from one of your staff members involving, I think, a homeowner's policy.
Right.
And I think you said that you require your staff to copy you on all quotes.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing right now is, as you get staff, training them to make sure that they're following the procedures we have for our E&O guidelines. I have them kind of copy me so I know what they're saying to customers. And of course, we have a smaller staff. You can't do that with big agencies. But at least it lets me know until I feel comfortable that they are quoting, sending 2 quotes, sending what they want and the best, what we recommend.
And that's what you read today was your young lady sent a quote to the customer and said, I've attached 2 quotes, one for, I think, what you had and the other for what we recommend.
Right, and that's a good way to cover yourself for E&O situations because the more information you have in the file that you did recommend coverage and you recommended better coverage is going to save you in the long run should an E&O case come up.
Well, as you said, your staff is somewhat small, 5 or 6 or so, I believe. Even at that size staff, what's the biggest challenge you face with staff and E&O?
I think the biggest challenge is making sure that they do the process every time, meaning documenting everything, getting it in the file, attaching everything to the file that they talked about with the customer. Because a lot of times, work is fast and the customer will call in and say, I want this coverage or I don't want that coverage. And they'll say, well, I gotta do it later or I'll forget. But a lot of times it's just getting all the documents there. I've been on this wagon for years to document everything. From the time they call, you should be on that client screen, either typing in notes or filling in the information about that call.
Well, this came up in class today too. You're looking for a new staff member, a commercial lines person. And we picked one lady in the front row right here at 30 plus years in the business. And I said, well, the good news if you were to hire her would be she's got 30 years of experience. The bad news, it could be 30 years of experience the wrong way.
Right.
So when you fill this new slot, what process will you use with this new person to have her buy into the Ardent Insurance way of doing this? How would you do this?
Well, it's going to be a matter of on-hand training and making sure that she is aware of the procedures and processes that we deal with. And it's going to be following up, at least for the first many months, to make sure she fits the mold. The idea is that you want to protect ourselves in the long run. Because as you said, we had a long-term employee leave, and now I have to worry about whatever was in the file before or what wasn't in the file. So it's training. It's all about training and educating your staff.
Well, with this new person, as well as your existing staff, do you audit their files or spot check to see if they're doing it the Arden way?
Yeah, periodically we do that off and on, and again, I try to stay with technology. You can be copied into these things. You can be copied into the loop real easily. So if they CC or BCC me on things, I can see that they're following the procedures, and if not, I can tweak it and work with them to fix that. Because ultimately, the E&O problem follows the agency. The employee could leave, and if they made missteps while they were doing something and you didn't know about it, it's going to bite you in the end.
I just want to pick one of your top 5, then I'll have your parting comments. Of course, I can't miss number 3 here. Share information and communication with the staff and read the policies. Knowledge prevents errors. Elaborate on that quickly.
Well, and that's the big thing. You know, it's very fast paced out there in this business, and a lot of agency emails flow in and out. We make a big point of sharing all that information with everybody, on down to even the secretarial level in some cases, so that they're familiar with what things are happening. And then, you know, training the staff and making sure they're aware of the pitfalls, because policy changes happen all the time, as you know. And one missed policy change could result in a big E&O case. So, you know, you've got to really get involved with that and make an impact on your staff to let them know how the E&O potential could bankrupt the agency. So the more prevention is better than anything else. You know, knowledge is what keeps you out of the E&O problem.
You know, like the folks watching, you're deep in the trenches. I mean, your office proves you're deep in the trenches with video there. Parting comments from the trenches to the trenches for folks out there.
Yeah, you know, E&O is not as bad as it seems. It's not all doom and gloom. I think if you decide what procedures and processes you're going to follow and then share that with everybody in your agency or with your fellow workers, and just make sure, we know you can't do everything the ivory tower tells you. But if you can do most of the things, follow the basics, document everything, and you're going to be all right in the long run.
We appreciate your time today. We're filming this around the holiday season, folks, and Rob has a big football game coming up. You go ahead and give
Gators are going to be in the Peach Bowl, baby. Go Gators.
Rob's a big Gator fan. You just won some friends out there, and they had some friends that just struck you off their good list out there. But we appreciate Rob, his time, and I'm sure we'll see you at a barbecue joint nearby.
We'll see you at a barbecue on the internet. Go to our YouTube channel. Get us some likes.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. Catch you later. Okay, man.
Bye-bye.